Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I'm back with another video, and in today's video we have an HP laptop. This one is an HP Pavillion Dv9700 series. And in this video I'm gonna go over how you can open it up and how you can service it, because this one hasn't been serviced for a very long time, or probably never. A client brought it in and wants to service this one in, and it's missing a key. You can't do much about it. I made a video how to replace the keyboard, but if you need to, you can do it. You should do your own servicing and cleaning for every once in a while. And this one, it does have a problem with a video chip, which the screen just flickers to different colors, or sometimes when you turn it on, it turns on the dashboard, everything, the hard drive, but there's no screen. And I made a video how to repair that. I'm gonna make this in two parts. Part one will be how to service it, and also a video how to repair it. I'll put the repair part in one video and the service part in another video. Alright, so let's get into it and let's open this one up. Alright, to open it up, first you need to power off the laptop completely. Make sure it's turned off. You want to flip it upside down, and down here you're going to see a whole bunch of screws. We want to remove all the screws, and we're going to keep them in separate piles. First thing first, you're going to remove the battery by pulling the trigger towards the left side and put the battery to one side. You need to remove the screws from the bottom. The tools that I'll be using for this service, I'll be using a screwdriver set, the UFIXTEK screwdriver set. These are one of the best screwdrivers out there. These are S2 steel bits, which are really durable. We're gonna use a Phillips #1. And if you get a pro set, it will include you with an opening tools and tweezers and a few other stuff. But if not, for the opening tool, we're going to be using a guitar pick, and metallic guitar picks are very suitable to opening cases and covers. Also, you need a curve and straight tweezers. I'll recommend you to have one of them. You need a toothbrush, old or new toothbrush. Important one is an alcohol, isopropylic or isopropyl alcohol, 99% or 95% plus. A workshop towel, at least one sheet of the workshop towel, and obviously you need your thermal paste. A good thermal paste is an Arctic MX4, and you can get the crazy over. You can get another brand, which is the Thermal Grizzly Quaranal, which are really good but really expensive. But this one will do just fine. Alright, with this on hand, we're going to start unscrewing the bottom case. First, let's go ahead and remove the service covers. It started from this side, which is the hard drive. There's two screws that you have to loosen them up. They have a C-lock on them. That means they will not come out entirely. So just rotate and bring it up. The C-lock is right at the bottom of the screw, which prevents it from falling off. So remove the bottom cover. Now grab this flip thing right here and pull it up. So that's the hard drive. Put the hard drive to one side, and the bottom cover here, you need to remove this cover too for the RAM and Wi-Fi. So remove this side and remove this cover up, and this cover exposes the RAM and the Wi-Fi board. The next cover is for secondary hard drive, so remove the secondary hard drive, secondary bay. This one, there's another hard drive right in here. So you want to lift this one up and disconnect this secondary hard drive. Put it to one side. You probably don't even have the second hard drive. It will be probably empty. Or with this one removed, we need to remove the DVD drive. To remove the DVD drive, there's a one screw right here with a symbol of DVD drive. So I'll go ahead and remove this screw and slide out the DVD drive just like that. Once with all this removed, first we need to remove these Wi-Fi cables. Just pull them up. They snap down. So just pull them up gently. Alright. So untangle the cable. You don't need to remove the RAM, but if you want to, you have to pull these two triggers away from each other, and the RAM will come out in 45-degree angle. We're going to remove them. Just pull them up in 45. You don't yank them upward. You have to slide them back in 45-degree angle. Now let's go ahead and remove the screws under the battery. The one under the hard drives right here, right, 3 on this one on this one. and few under the battery. Go ahead and start from one corner and start unscrewing them. If the screws don't come out, you can use a magnet, a strong magnet, to pull them out, unless the base is broken, but we can manage it. I'm going to stick one magnet beside my screw driver right here, so it makes the life easier. The screws under the battery are the same size and height, so don't worry about mismatching those. Also, if you guys like my videos, if my videos are helping you guys out to do your own servicing or upgrade, you can click that like and support to the channel by clicking subscribe. I appreciate it. It will be great motivation for me to make more videos, take requests, answer your questions in the comment area. I appreciate that. Alright, the chrome screws, they're all the same size. The battery and the bottom of the hard drive, they're the same size. So once you remove that, now we're going to start removing the rest of the screws on the bottom case. Go ahead and start from one corner and remove all of them. All the screws on the bottom cover, they are the same size and height too, so don't worry about mismatching those neither. Alright, make sure that you remove all of them, double check. Make sure there should be a few on the back, under the battery, two in the middle. Hard drive, there's one I missed right over here, so you need to remove all of them. Alright, now that they're removed, now we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna open the laptop. Now we're gonna remove this tray, the palm rest on the top side. We're gonna put our finger right at the back on the corner here. We're gonna bring it up gently, don't yank it up. And there's a little flex cable on the bottom, you don't want to damage those. Just bring it up a little bit this way so you can release. See those screws for the keyboard, and you want to remove these screws right here. So remove the screw keyboard right there. Once you remove those are the same size as the bottom screws. You can lift up the keyboard, bring it upward and pull it back this way. Flip it down. Now to remove the flex cable, it's really simple. All you need to do is to pull these black triggers towards the screen about 1 millimeter from both sides, that side and this side, and the flex cable should just come out easy. Now we're gonna remove this flex cable for the touchpad right in here. That has a little adhesive. You have to pull it up gently, and there you go. And now this one doesn't have any clips. You just have to pull it back towards the screen and it will get disconnected. Same thing for this one. This is on off switch. Just pull it back and it will get disconnected. Has a little adhesive. Over time this adhesive, they do get really tough. Bring it up and lift it up. So this is the trackpad. This is the touchpad. The on-off switch is right over here. You can remove this tape that is right over here. So let's go ahead and remove this tape. Now we can remove the screw right there, so we can loosen up this on-off switch. So let's go ahead and remove that tiny screw and lift it up, bring it upward. Now disconnect the speaker cable, hold it from the side of the jack and pull it back. These are the webcams and the microphone. You can leave them in here or you can just disconnect them. You can make a mistake. The jack is different sizes, so I rather disconnect them to leave them there. I don't want to get damages between them when I close and open. Grab this LCD cable, just pull it upward, just push down jack, bring it up. Now we need to remove this Kapton tape right here. We need to remove the trackpad cable. This one has a little, the same thing as a keyboard, has a little notch right here. You have to pull them down gently and pull back the flex cable. This cable goes towards I believe this one is for the webcam. So pull it back, untangle. Now we're gonna remove this cable, bring it up this way like that, untangle them, and we're gonna feed the Wi-Fi cables through here, and we're gonna pull them out, and we're gonna untangle these ones right here and bring it this way, and we're gonna remove this screw by the hinge cover, and there's 3 of them in this side. Remove 3 of them. Now the hinge should come out pretty easy, and grab your LCD cover and put the LCD panel, put them to one side, make sure you don't break it. Now down here we have this back cover here. We can just snap it out, but just leave it for now. Let's remove this speaker. This screws right in here. First, let's go ahead and remove the speaker right there, and this one right over here, and lift up the speaker, put it back. And this was first for the Bluetooth or for the switch. When you turn, put your lid down, the switch activates and turns on the screen. That's the one for that. Remove the screw at the back here. This screw holds this cover, and bring it up like this. Just twist it around, and it will release itself. Okay. Now we need to remove the palm rest, so remove all the screws that touching the palm rest. The chrome screws, the black screws in the middle. There are 2 types of screws, the black one and the chrome one. They're all the same size and height, so it's really hard to make a mistake. And again, most of the screws are not necessary here. They exaggerated with the screws, I believe, in this model. Alright, once we remove all the screws, there's a tiny screw by the motherboard in here. We're going to remove this one. So remove this screw right there. There's a screw right at the back. I'm going to remove that one. 2 screws by the hinges at the right side. 3 of them actually. Okay, there's one on this side is a short one, so keep these ones in a different pile. And let's go ahead and remove the palm rest for now. So you want to grab the palm rest in here, or you can grab your opening tool. And you want to stick it between the palm rest and the bottom cover right there. And you just want to wiggle it around. You want to do that all the way to the front end. Go ahead. You want to hear tiny clicks. Those are the clicks that you want to hear. Alright, once you remove most of them, now you want to lift it up, bring it up. I think on this model there's a little protection. On this side, sometimes they're being held down by the screws by the Wi-Fi, but not on this model. So I don't see any more screws right there. So let's go ahead and gently wiggle it around. Let me see if I didn't miss any other screws in here. No, I haven't. There should be one screw right in here, which is under the Wi-Fi probably. So let's go ahead and remove the Wi-Fi board. There should be a lock. Yeah, the Wi-Fi screw is very long that goes over and holds the bottom casing. So you need to remove the Wi-Fi because it goes through. Once you remove that one, simply lift it up, bring it up, wiggle it around, and it will release itself. So that's the palm rest. Put the palm rest to one side. Now down here, we do have the motherboard. This USB port in here is broken. The base for the USB is broken. So we can glue this one back in. You can see the base is kind of broken because they forced in a USB drive really hard. And they cracked the base for the USB. Then you can put a little bit of epoxy right there and glue this one back in place. Alright, first, before we get remove the motherboard, we need to remove few other stuff. We're gonna remove the expansion card right here by removing this screw and this screw right over here. There should be screws under the card here, so go ahead and remove the 2 screws right there. And lift it up and pull it back because the jack goes in, so put it to one side. This one is already broken, so if yours is not broken, just unscrew it. Anyway, remove the DVD adapter, 1 screw, and lift it and pull it to one side. Pretty much, if you want to remove the power jack in here, there's 1 screw holding it, 2 and 3 screw holding the power jack and extra USB to this side, but I'm just gonna leave it there. Alright, now we need to remove the motherboard. The motherboard has few screws that need to be removed, 1 right in here, 1 right in the corner. Alright, let me see if there's more hidden screws. Yep, there's a dust in there. There's a screw right by the fan. Remove that one over there. Alright, so we're gonna wiggle around a little bit. First, let's go ahead and remove this Wi-Fi connector. Lift up the jack upward and pull the flex cable back. There's 1 more screw that is holding it down. We need to find those. Oh, this one, they do have a lock on this side, so you will need a flat screwdriver to remove 2 screws right in here. So we're gonna rotate to a flat head screw right there. And we are gonna remove these 2 screws right in here. Alright, once we remove those ones, now there should be maybe under the cover 1 more screw that is holding it. Let me see. I don't see any more screws down here, so we are fine. We need to wiggle around first in this position. Let me see if there's anything back there. Nothing back there. Everything is released. Under the covers, no screws and no screws. So we're gonna remove this jack on the power jack. Just pull it back, pull it, lift up, put it downward so you can remove this jack and bring it up. And when you have in this position, you want to remove this jack for front audio panel just by pulling this cable backward. Now you have the motherboard in here with a cable that goes to this side for extra USB port. So you want to lift up this jack and hold the jack by the corners and wiggle it around right there, and you should be able to remove it. So that's the bottom chassis. You can go ahead and clean up the dust in here, everything, and we put this one to one side. Alright, so we got the motherboard right in front of us. Now there's a GPU right there, CPU, and the south bridge or the north bridge, which is right over here. We're gonna switch back again to a Philips number 1. Now we're gonna disconnect the fan cable just by pulling it up. We're gonna remove the 3 screws for the CPU, and then we're gonna remove this one. So remove the 3 screws for the CPU. Okay, grab the heatsink and put it to one side, and look at all this dust right in here. Half of it is stuck in there and half of them is right in here. So that's why the GPU overheats and you get artifacts on the screen, or there's no screen because of the dust in here piled up and overheats the GPU. Alright, we're gonna remove the heatsink for the GPU, removing 2 screws, and we're gonna once for all remove all this dust in here. And there's your GPU. There's a thermal pad on the south bridge. The south bridge is not that important. You can reuse this pad or you can buy a new pad. These are 0.4 millimeters pads, but the south bridge doesn't heat up that much. This thermal paste is never been changed in his life. So we're gonna put this in on one side. I'm gonna make a video how to repair this. Alright, now we're gonna service up the fan in here. So we need to remove this fan casing right in here. That screws right on top. We're gonna remove these screws. These are a Phillips number 00. Once you remove these screws, there's one more in the corner here. Now we should be able to pull out the fan from this casing, run the cable through here, and bring it like that. And look at all that garbage that is in there. That's what you don't want in here. So we do need to clean up nicely all this garbage in here. You can take it outside and clean it up. For the fan, we need to lubricate the fan, grab it evenly and pull it out. And there's a fan and the ball bearing right in here. The rod is like a bone dry. So the rotation for this one is really bad. Revolution, I mean. So we're gonna take it outside with a toothbrush. We're gonna clean it up. Clean up the fan with a toothbrush, and you can even wash this part, but do not wash that part. With an alcohol, you can clean it up with anything you can get your hands on. And we're gonna clean up this one. The pads on this side is a 0.4 millimeters. They're all 0.4 millimeters thermal pads. So 0.4 millimeters for all of them. So go ahead and clean up everything, and I'll be back right after this. Now that we clean up the outside everything, I took everything outside, we cleaned it up. Now we're gonna service up this fan. You can go even do over. I didn't clean up too much between the fans. I just cleaned it up a little bit. You can go crazy with a towel and clean it up nicely. But I'm gonna show you what's the most important part of cleaning this one, which is the inside. So you wanna soak it in the corner of the towel, and then you wanna stick this one inside there, jam it right in there, and you just wanna rotate like this, and you want to remove all those dirt inside the magnet on the middle pole right there. And you don't want to touch this one too much, just clean around it if you want. If there's any dust, I already cleaned it. Now what we're gonna do now, we're gonna lubricate this one in the middle. We're gonna put a little bit of a special oil. I'll put a 3-in-1 oil for in the middle, 1 drop on the rod, just 1 tiny drop. We're gonna put 1 drop right in the parent inside the hole right there, and that's it. You don't want to put more than 1 or 2 drop. You don't need to overdo this one. 1 drop goes a long way. Now you're gonna put this one right in there. It's just gonna suck itself in there, and now it's beautifully in place. Now we're gonna set this one right on top. I cleaned it up. Look at it. It looks nice and clean. All right, we're gonna place this one right on top. Run this cable right through here and put it right on top, and put the tiny screws that you removed from here. The big ones are to the heatsink side, and the small ones goes towards the metal side right at the back. Now we're gonna clean up this old thermal paste first. Let's go ahead and remove this black Kapton tape. Has a little aluminum sheet right now. You don't need to. This is really old style that they used to do it. Trash this. You're not gonna make any short by removing this. It's absolutely not necessary. So what are we gonna do? These thermal pastes are really dried in there, so we're gonna clean it up, soak it up, and we're gonna start rubbing it in until we just blend the old thermal paste and remove it completely. You want to work, and even the copper over time it gets really oxidized, and we're going to clean up the copper too. Also, if you want to clean up nicely, grab a plastic pick, and you can just scrap the old paste over. The plastic is not going to scratch anything. Just remove it. Again, apply more. And clean it up nicely. The CPU side too, you need to clean it up, scrap it off. It's easier to scrap it off. That's why I'm saying you're supposed to change your thermal paste often so it doesn't dry up like this. Every 2 years you're supposed to replace your thermal paste. 2 or 3 years I recommend, depending the usage, how much daily use you have. All right, now that we cleaned it up, now we're gonna clean up the copper. To clean up the copper, I'm gonna be using a Q-tip. We're gonna use a silver solution cleaner. You can get this one in any jewelry store. You're gonna dip it in there and look at the magic. I'm gonna apply it right in here, and it's gonna bring up the true copper from here, so you guys can see it. So we're gonna clean up nicely the whole area. So now that the contact is gonna be perfect contact, and it's gonna get oxidized as soon as you stop doing it, but at least you remove the one layer of the bad copper. Same thing on the GPU. Nicely clean it up. This kind of dent in there, I can't get rid of this one, but it's okay. It's nice. It's part of the copper, I guess. I don't know what happened in there, but yeah. This one smells like a really bad, so let's put that to one side. We have all those set. We're gonna bring the motherboard, and we're gonna work on the motherboard. Now, if you have a GPU issue, the problem overheating is in this one. What you want to do, you want to put this one on a wood plate somewhere, and you don't want to put any ventilation, anything on top, and you want to grab a hair dryer if you're doing it at home, put it at maximum heat, and you want to hold it on top here for about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes at maximum heat without touching the motherboard. Leave it. It doesn't matter if you heat up the rest of the component, nothing's gonna happen. 5 to 8 minutes, you want to heat it up nicely. After that, you remove the heat and let it cool down at room temperature for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you just want to apply the thermal paste. This effect is called a reflow. We need to reflow this in order to fix the issue. So I'm gonna go take this one to another station and reflow, and then we're gonna continue with servicing. This video is just for servicing, and this part is for repairing the GPU. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the heatsink over. First we're gonna put the GPU heatsink. We don't need to replace the thermal pad. The thermal pad is only to keep the VRAMs cool. These are not overclocked VRAMs, so you don't even need the thermal pads. But if you want to replace it with a 0.5 millimeter or 0.4 millimeter thermal pads. I'll recommend 0.4 millimeters. And we're gonna apply the thermal paste. We're gonna put one drop on the GPU die, just like that. We're gonna bring the heatsink over, and we're gonna set it down, and we're gonna switch to a Phillips number 1, and we're gonna tighten up the screws on this chip. There we have it. Now we need to put the CPU. I removed the CPU. I'm gonna put the CPU back on. We need to clean up the CPU. We're gonna put an alcohol on a towel. With a clean side, we're gonna just rub it over the die. You don't need to clean up around the die, it's just absolutely not necessary. But this thermal paste is really dry. You can grab a guitar pick, a plastic one, just scrub it off. Just scrub this around it off, but it's not necessary. That part is not gonna touch the die. That just the excess of the thermal paste that goes around. Once you clean it up, put the one drop on that. You can use the same thermal pad on this one, or you can just put another thermal pad on the south bridge. The south bridge is just for a file transfer. It's not a big deal. All right, now we're gonna bring the heatsink over, align it, and we are gonna lock it down and tighten up the screws for the CPU. There we have it. And don't forget to plug in the fan cables. People always forget this one. Just pop it in there and you're set to go. Now we're gonna grab the bottom chassis that you supposedly have cleaned it. Now before we put it in, we're gonna put it in this position. We're gonna plug in this cable, which is for the webcam, probably. No, it's for the extra USB on the side. Once for all, go ahead and plug in this other power connector right here. It goes right in there. Now you want to bring it down and you want to put down the IO side, slide it right in there. And once it goes right in the crack right in there, you want to put this side in there and you want to keep it up still, because you still need to bring it in this position and grab this connector and stick it right inside the other connector, which is right in there. So you just have to eyeball that thing in there and it goes in very easy. Just squeeze it in there and you are all set. Once you have those two in there, now you want to set it down, make sure it goes, the heatsink goes in place nicely. Now set it down, align the cables. The flex cable on this side, my magnet went right underneath here. You want to grab your tweezers, remove the flex cable underneath here, bring it over, and open up this lock right there and slide it right underneath and lock it down. Grab the DVD connector, just bring it in there, slide it in there, make sure it's in place. The extra connector that you have in here, slide them right in there, bring it in there. Put a drop of color glue right in there to keep it in place. If yours is not broken, but mine is kind of broken because somebody pushed down a lot. Now we're gonna start putting the screws in. So let's put the, let me see if I'm not gonna mess up this part. Doesn't matter if you miss few screws, put the two screws under the expansion board and put the one right in on top here. Pretty much you can always watch the video backward and try to see, watch it again to see where the screws come off. But most of the screws, don't worry about if you forget one or two. You need to put the two screws for the motherboard. Remember the short ones was from back here. Let's put the ones that we already know. These are different type. So there are three of them in here. These are the only three short screws. Now we're gonna put one screw right over here and one screw right in this corner and one screw right back. No, I'm guessing this one was with the top cover. Yep, so remove this one, put this one right here by the LCD cable. Once we have those in there, I'm guessing this one too we have to put, let's put the two for the, I'm not sure if these two were chrome screws or were just a regular M4 screws. I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna go with my best guess, I'm gonna go with a chrome, but again, don't watch the video. Again, if you want to know, this was a chrome one, I'm gonna put it in there. Nothing's gonna happen. Grab this back cover right here, snap it in place, align it, and make sure it just clicks in. It has to make a tiny click right there. And put one of the black headed screws right in there. Right, and this long screws that goes on the side with a flat headed screw. Now that we have that one in there, let me verify this screw right now. Let me open the video and just double check. So these two are chrome screw too, so we're gonna remove the two screws down here. These are a chrome screw, it's not a black headed screw, so remove these two on the bottom because otherwise we're gonna miss black headed screws. So these ones on the bottom, they were chrome screws. We're gonna replace them with the chrome screws on the bottom on the motherboard. And there we have it. Alright, next we're gonna grab the palm rest and we're gonna sit the palm rest on top. So grab the palm rest. Sure, this one is already popped out again. Put the palm rest straight over and pinch it between the top and the bottom cover. Just pinch them together. push down the DVD drive, just pinch them together, make sure that click sound. That's what you want to hear. There we go. There we have it. Alright, once we have this one in here, now we need to put the screws for this one in. So let's put the tiny chrome screws on the top here. So let's put these ones in. One right there. And one right beside it. Now we're going to put the black screws in the middle. So I'm not missing any more. Let's go ahead and pop in the trackpad right here. Open it up and slide it right underneath. Right under the jack. Once it's all the way in, and all you need to do is lock it down. Next, grab the speakers, and bring it over. And set it down there and put the screw for the speaker. These are again chrome screws. Alright, we have that one in there. We're gonna grab the on-off switch. It's supposed to be right over here. And we're gonna put this cable right in here. This cable right over here. We're not gonna screw it down yet. We're gonna grab the screen. So my screen is right over here. Put the screen right on top, set it down, run the cable nicely on the side. Alright, these ones are the blackhead screw. Put one right in here on the cover. Hold the cover in place. And there are a few on this side, 3 of them on this side. Put the 3 screws on this side to hold the hinges. The screw for this one, for the plastic one, this was a chrome one. It's not a blackhead one, so put the chrome one on the plastic cover. The 2 back ends are the black ones. The one in here is just a chrome screw. Put the chrome one right there. In this one is a chrome one too, so I made a mistake again. And this one's a chrome. Nothing will happen if you don't put the chrome one in. Just like the thing is, there's nothing underneath you can damage or anything. Just gonna miss a black head screw somewhere else. So I'm gonna run this cable down here. First go this cable, the flex cable, then go the Wi-Fi cable. And the next one you want to put the Wi-Fi in, and then the cable, the flat one, and then you want to bring down the flat one, and then the Wi-Fi. And you want to pinch it down there. You want to bring the Wi-Fi cables down first, and then you want to put this other flex cable at the end, and then the Wi-Fi, and push down the clip. The Wi-Fi cables have to go through this gap on the bottom, right to the other side of the motherboard, and you want to catch it on the other side. You can put your hand underneath, and you can close the screen a little bit and just grab the cables on the bottom, and then pull it a little bit. There we go. Now you want to connect this cable. This one, it is the webcam, I'm getting 100%. There we go. Now on this end, we're gonna grab the flex cable for the screen. Just want to snap it right in there. Just grab it and then push it down. Make sure you hear a nice click. Grab this other cable that you remove. It comes in, and plug it in there. And now we're gonna sit down this board and we're gonna screw it in there. Okay. This one is a chrome screw. It's a short chrome screw. Now put it right in there. Bring this flex cable for on-off switch. You just want to push it down inside the jack. There's no lock or anything. You just push in. There we go. And that's it. Now just sit down the cables nicely. Make sure it's not getting pinched or anything like that. Once you have it in this position, we are almost set. Grab the keyboard. No, before we do the keyboard, we need to put the touchpad on the top side. Bring it down. Again, this one is push down cable. All you need to do is just push it in there, and it should lock itself in place. There we go. And then you just want to have a little adhesive, but yeah. Now we're gonna pull it up a little bit, and we're gonna put it in this position because we need to put the screws for the keyboard. Grab the keyboard, make sure the locks are opened, clean up the contact, and slide it right in the jack. Make sure the locks are open so you can go all the way in. And then you want to pull these two locks towards yourself so it just pinches the cable in there. Put the bottom end of the keyboard right in there on the palm rest and bring it down and put the screws for the keyboard, which are the chrome ones. So let's see if I put all of them. So it's 1, 2, 3 screws, and then what you want to do, you want to bring the back side down and you just want to push it down and slide your finger through here, and you should hear 1 or 2 clicks. That's what you want to hear. It's okay if it's like that because we still need to put the screws on the other side. So yeah. Now we have it in this position. What we're going to do, we're going to close it down. You want to flip it upside down, and we are going to put the screws under the battery so it can pull that touchpad towards itself so it doesn't go anywhere. Put all these screws under the battery. We can turn it on right now and to see if we get image or not. So I'm going to plug it in and to see if I'm getting any image. So before we go any further. So I'll just put this one in. I don't even have to put this one in to test, but I'm just going to do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. We don't need to put the hard drives or anything to turn it on. As long as we have one RAM installed, we should get a screen. So let me get the charger for this one. Right over here. Let's place one RAM right in there. Let's put 2 of them for the heck of it. And make sure the cables are out of the way so you don't want to touch the motherboard. And I'm gonna connect the charger. I got a power in there. I got light. And let's see if we get any image. And I see flicker, and there we have the HP logo, and it is working fine. No operating system found. That means there's no system. So I'm gonna power it off, and that means we are set to go. Now we can continue placing the rest of the screws. I'm gonna do this in another video. We can continue putting the rest of the screws. So remember, this long screws goes with a Wi-Fi board. So grab the Wi-Fi board, put it in there, and put this long screws right in it so it grabs it from the palm rest. And then we need to put this DVD drive all the way in. This hard drive goes on top, right in here. Plug it in there. This one goes on this side. We already put the chrome screws underneath. We need to run this cable right through here, these gaps. They are coordinated with number 1, 2, 3, and there's a number right in there, so put 1 for 1. They are like snap on. Just align them on top and just push them down inside. And they will make a nice tiny click. If maybe not click, I'm just gonna use the head of the screw to push it down. There we go, another click. Another click right there. So we are set to go. Now we're gonna put the cover for starting from this corner. Put this cover on, screw it down, and then put the middle cover, which is the long cover, right in there. Screw it down. And the last cover would be this side. You want to slide it underneath this one and put it there. And you want to slide it, screw it down. And the rest should be really easy. Just put all the screw wherever you find the screw hole. And that should be all. Don't forget the screws in the middle, 2 in the front. and you should be set to go. If you guys have any question or requests, feel free to leave them in a video comment. I'll try to answer them. Again, if you want to support the channel, I'll greatly appreciate if you guys could support by clicking the like and subscribe, and it'll be a great, tremendous motivation for me to make these videos for you guys. I'm just going to finish up this video by putting these screws. I already turned it on and it's working, and that should cover up this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.